All right, I've got audio now.
Hey guys, Brett Thompson here, and welcome to the first Copywriting Mastermind Write Like a Pro webinar. Can't begin to tell you how excited I am about this. I've been, this is my most favourite topic in the world, to be honest with you. So having an opportunity to spend the next 12 sessions with you guys and go deep in this is going to be fantastic. What I'm going to do, just for quality of recording, I'm going to mute all, but I will bring you guys in, that you'll have an opportunity to talk and say good day and things like that. But yeah, look, again, I just want to reiterate, I'm super pumped and excited to be doing this. This is my most favourite thing in the world. And so I just want to start by just reminding you just how amazing this skill is going to be for you. Most of you, if not all of you, have probably heard my story, so I'm not going to go into that. I'm just going to be very respectful of your time. But out of all the things I've been trying in my life, once I learned copywriting, I earned more money than anything I've ever done, bar none. It really changed everything in my life. Also, in the way that even if I'm ever in a situation where I need to make more money, it's one of the most lucrative skills that I can apply to so many people, so many areas to bring in a cash injection. So, and what also I love about copywriting, and what I love and respect about every single person on this call or in this group, is that we've got a good combination of people who want to be copywriters. There's also people who are already copywriters that want to kind of take their skill to the next level. And there's the majority of people are business owners who have got great skill, very passionate about what they do, but just haven't really been able to crack it as much as they'd like to, as far as hit the level of success that they feel they deserve. Whereas some people in their industry are probably overtaking them simply because they've got better marketing. So I feel kind of compelled to and motivated to kind of inject this skill into you guys as a business owner, purely so you can get paid what you're worth, what you deserve. And the sad reality is, it's not the product or the business that gets all the success. It's whoever can market themselves best, right? And copywriting is the kind of cornerstone across everything. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you do Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever, or email marketing, whatever the case. Copywriting is the cornerstone, and some of the greatest marketers that you see and maybe follow today, for the majority of them, have got a very good and competent skill of copywriting, like Eben Pagan, Frank Kern, Ryan Dice, Ryan Levick. If you don't know who they are, that doesn't matter also. But it's just it's the most common denominator across some of the best marketers in the world, right? Which is really cool. So first of all, I want to have a quick shout out and say the people on the call. So g'day Beck, thanks for jumping on. Gary, how are you, mate? And Elaine from WA. I know it's 6 a.m. over there for you, so thanks for jumping on. Ian Sheen from Japan. We got Mackenzie. Mackenzie is the reason why this is on. I did this course earlier in the year, purely because one guy asked me, I sent an email, said, anyone looking for copyright jobs, we're open. And this one guy said, no, I want you to teach me. I said, mate, haven't done that for a couple of years. The last time I taught someone was $25K for the year, right? Just so it's going to be worthy of my time. And those the two copywriters that I trained are now six-figure copywriters, But anyway, he pestered and said, come on, can you teach me? And I knew he couldn't afford 25. So I thought, listen, I'll put an email out. If enough people want to do it as a group, I'll run through it. Sure enough, it did. And that was the program we ran at the start of the year. It went very, very well, and the success has still been enjoyed by a lot of the members. And that was it. I thought I wasn't going to do it to maybe next year, but then I met a very eager, hungry guy by the name of Mackenzie, who you'll get to know really well in Japan. And he approached me and had the same kind of fire in his belly that I had. And I said, same deal. I'll put it out there. If enough people are interested, then we'll run it. If not, I'll point you somewhere else. And you guys have joined together, and we've got a really cool little group. So well done, Mackenzie. And also I want to say g'day to Mick. Thanks for jumping on, Mick. Appreciate it, mate. and Steve from NZ. Thanks for jumping on, buddy. And everyone who's watching the recording. Brian, John. And I won't rattle them off. There's a lot of people who can't make it at this time. So anyway, so what I'm going to do now is share my screen and rip straight into it and show you how we're going to roll. Cool. So guys, first of all, what to expect. Now this might shock you a little bit, but you'll notice very quickly, if you haven't already in dealing with me, I'm very much what you see is what you get. Morals and ethics are very important to me. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat anything, right? If I don't think something's going to work for you, I'm not going to sugarcoat it to make you feel nice and happy. I see my responsibility as your marketing coach for the next up until now and Christmas. And I take that responsibility, I take that very, very serious, right? I'll be honest with you, my core objective here is to make you all a lot of money, right? That's as blunt as it's going to get. I mean, I know how fast you can make money if you just do what I tell you, right? Now, you might think you're coming up here because you want to be an expert at copywriting. You really want to master the copywriting skill. I'm going to show you how to get good enough to make money. I'm going to show you the fastest path to the money. And it might not necessarily, I don't want you to get distracted and try and be a perfectionist at copywriting, because some of the things I'm going to share with you where I've listened to so many copywriting webinars where all the copywriters get together and they share all that, and I listen to it, and they go so deep into it, so deep, and I'd already turned over nearly $250 million before I knew any of that stuff, right? I kid you not. I made money so freaking fast by showing you what I did. I'm about to show you how I did that. Whereas I've seen copywriters who know the craft arguably better than I do, but they didn't understand the missing ingredient. You don't need to be a perfectionist. You don't need to be the perfect, the expert copywriter. You just need to know the psychology of the market, and you need to get good enough to make money, and also how to find clients, right? That's really the key part. So what to expect from me? If your expectation is you want to just be to know the craft so good and so well, look, that's not what this is about. But you won't be disappointed, right? I'm going to show you how to go deep enough, and then I'm going to show you the fastest path to the money. Okay, so I want that expectation to be right. And look, here's the thing: anyone can learn copywriting and be good at it. Like, you don't need this course to become an expert copywriter, because you can immerse yourself in books and courses for years, and with enough time and practice, anyone can get good at copywriting. Some people get good at it very fast, like I did, and other people take more time. Right? The key is actually not so much what you learned. It's for a lot of you, it's actually what you have to unlearn. Right? And if you know my story, I kind of went all through school and failed English. And was allergic to reading, allergic to writing, and I kind of just picked up this skill in my mid-20s, and went from 16K to 200K in my first 12 years because of that. So there's a particular set of skills that I learned along the way to do with copywriting that brought in the money fast. Okay, so that's what I want to. I'm going to go deep in all of those things, but I just want to have the expectation right that I'm more about turning you also into a good marketer, how to find clients, and then you can, once you have that strategy there, then you can implement the copywriting that is good enough that you're going to make some good money. All right, is that cool? Give us a thumbs up if you're happy with that. Only one thumb up. Oh, all right. No. Okay. So here we go. The course outline. We've got weekly course 8 a.m. Thursday morning. Now that's Queensland time. Now there is going to be a couple of calls that are going to be on a Monday morning, because here's the thing, right? It's not so much a 12-week session. It's a 12-week course, but I want to kind of finish right before Christmas. So I want us to all celebrate in Christmas. And the way I want to celebrate is I want to know that you've made a good return on your investment. So it's really, really important for me. So there's going to be a couple of weeks where we do 2 in a week, just so we can finish in before Christmas. I don't want to kind of go to 10 weeks and then have a big Christmas break and then do 1 or 2 afterward. I just want the momentum to happen, because at the end of the day, I want you all to do a Christmas promotion and make some money. All right. The format is going to be very simple. It's generally going to be about 40 minutes of me teaching, and I'll show you on each particular topic. I'm going to show you why it's important that you learn this. I'm going to show you how to do it. And then I'm going to give you some examples and some homework. Then I'm going to leave 20 minutes open for copy critiques and or strategy, right? So that's a really important part. I don't want this just to be a one-dimensional training course. I want this to be very interactive, right? It's because here's the thing. You've got time with me for 1 hour every single week. In some weeks it's going to be 2 hours. So I want you to make the most of it. I mean, for some of you, this investment was very significant and you took a big risk. So don't waste that, right? Get my marketing brain working in your business every single week. And if there's something you've written and you want to get me to critique it, don't worry about what it looks like. If it's crap, don't worry about what other people think. This is a relationship I have with you. You and I'm your marketing coach. And my big objective is, I want you all to be able to see copy the way I do. I want you to look at every piece of marketing with a copywriting lens, and you'll be able to think, what would Brett do here? And I want you to be able to spot the weak areas of any copy or the opportunities to increase conversion. That's what I want to pass on for you. I also want to share with you that a lot of people who run courses, they go to a certain level of information and they leave a little bit left out so they can upsell into something else. That is not what's going to happen here. I'm not leaving anything on the table for you. I'll tell you why. My intention is, out of this, number one is to help you guys make money, because that's an emotional payoff for me. Right, I'm making a difference in people's lives, and Lanika and I, it gets us out of bed every morning. So I want to help you make money the shortest, fastest way possible. I also want to try and find the next superstar copywriters, because the doors are about to open in a massive way worldwide, where people are going to be beating down our doors saying we need some copywriting, right? So we're going to grow that agency of copywriting. So there's no benefit in me skimping on the information, is there? I see, if I skimp on the information here, when I work with a copywriter, I'm going to have to spend more time critiquing. And I don't want to do that. I want someone to bring up. So I'm going to try and get you up to speed as quick as I can. Right? The Facebook group, hopefully you're in that already, which I'll duck over and show you. And the membership area, and which I'll do a quick little tour. And also the running return on investment. Now, this is an idea I had the first time. I'd love to keep if this is a bit of a challenge to you, and you don't have to take it. In fact, there's only a handful of people who took this challenge last course, and others didn't, so no problem. But if you're up to it, I'd love for you to keep a tally of how much money you earn from this course. All right. One lady, after the first session that you're about to go, she had a list which was she didn't neglected list. And she had an email that she wanted me to critique, and I punched holes through it. Everyone learned a lot from it. She redid it and sent it, and made $8,000 just from that email. She said she never made so much money out of one email. And she said, what do I do next, Brett? What do I do now? I said, send another email. I did it again. It got up to like 12,000. And she goes, now what? Send another email. Right, and she made $16,000. That was after week 1, right? So, and you've heard the story that Matt, he made nearly $100,000 in the 90 days, unexpected money that wasn't there beforehand. So, if you want to keep track of this, I will be equally as motivated to help you along the way, all right? Because it's just really important to me. Cool. So, if it's what I'm going to do now is to quickly duck over to and show you the. Hopefully, you guys would have got this page. I hope you can still see my screen. It's you would have been sent this. If you haven't, let me know, and I can drop this in the Facebook group. That's the call outlines. We are going to Austin, Texas in November, so there may be a change. I might, if I'm transit, I might need to shuffle around. We don't actually know yet because we've got to book the flights, but we'll keep you posted. You've here's the webinar link here, so you're on there, so that's good for those guys watching the recording. This is it's in here, and you'll also be in the Facebook group. And just so you know, it's the same link every single week. So just keep that in whatever way you want. Step 3 is here to submit a piece of copy. So you can click that. That'll take you to this form here. Leave us your name, description of the piece you want. Tell us a little bit about your audience. So and you don't have to. After a while, I'll know kind of a lot about your business, because I want my marketing brain in your business for the next between now and Chrissy. And what the objective is for the copy, provide a link or upload it. And if you can do that, ideally 48 hours before the call, that would be great. Okay. Just so it's not a complete surprise for me, and do it like an hour before the call. Cool. The private Facebook group. Let me just bring this down. Interesting, I haven't got that yet. Oh, sorry, let me just. So this is where we interact daily, and Mackenzie, thanks for being active in there, buddy. And here's the thing, we get together like this every single week, which is cool. But I want this to be a daily thing. My commitment to you is the priority right now. So if you've got any questions you want to ask, put it in there. If you want to dump some copy in there and get some feedback, do that. And I want everyone to participate. And by the end of the 12 weeks, you're all going to know each other very well. There's going to be good relationships happening and potential for joint ventures. So it's going to be really, really cool. Now, the other thing is the members area. Now, I apologise, Anthony. We kind of created something new for you guys. We had something that was there earlier in the year, but we wanted to kind of revamp it. And apparently some of the links weren't working last night. Anthony starts in about an hour's time, so I haven't chatted to him, but I believe he has fixed that. So I'll quickly duck over to that and just show you. Let me just see if I've got that. And I've already got it. Yeah. Sorry, guys. You'll see my account. I've got it's a bit different because I've got. Sorry. Bear with us. So the Copywriting Mastermind. Okay, so you've got your courses. I'm just going to bring this down because the controls are 7-hour sales machine, which is a really, really good course, guys, because some of the things I'm going to teach you it's all about speed copywriting. And marketing funnels is a bit of a buzz right now. And a good copywriter, it could take like a month to put all the copy together. And I took a room full of 83 people, Lanique and I, and we got them to write all the copy for a marketing funnel in 7 hours, over 3 days. It was a very good workshop, $1,000 to attend. People paid thousands of dollars just to accommodation and flights to get there. So you guys got that, you know. So in between our 1 hour sessions, if you want to kind of fast track and implement, it's all there, and it's really cool. And so you'll be able to learn how to write very fast, like emails. There's templates, there's Facebook ads, there's sales letters, landing page copy, and also strategy. And it's just a good environment. And we're going to talk a little bit about speed marketing in one of the next workshops. The 48-hour funnel is how to take all that copy and put it up on ClickFunnels in 48 hours. If you want to do that, I'm not here to talk about technology, but I am here to show you how to monetize this skill as best you can, right? Video sales letters, the seminar marketing formula. Seminars are getting harder and harder to fill these days. So if you're a copywriter and you want to get good money to write copy for someone, approach a seminar, someone who puts on seminars, because they're hurting, right? And the bigger the pain point, the more money, right? And there's a formula there with swipe files, and you can get really good at that very, very fast. And the big ideas, which we're going to talk about, which is probably, like I say, you're all one big idea away from your next $1 million payday, okay? Now, the swipe files, last night there was only, I don't know what happened, but there wasn't many swipe files in there. So we fixed that. You can check this out. So you can download this. This is in Dropbox. So you've got my checklist and cheat sheets. You've got a campaign here where one of my first businesses, I took a business that a product that was struggling to sell for $498. I improved the copy, didn't touch the product, and was able to sell it for $1,498. And outsold every other distributor around Australia by 600%, made $25K in the first 3 months. All the copies in there. Marketing emails, I really encourage you to dig in there. And if there's some with spelling mistakes, that's okay, because some of them weren't edited at this time, but there's just a big swipe file there. Seminar emails too, if you want to do a seminar promotion. So again, for copywriters, if someone says, can you write some seminar copy? There's an actual email campaign in there. Same with webinars. Copywriting e-classes. If you want to kind of, if you do fall in love with copywriting, you want to get better and don't want to wait every single week, just start reading those copywriting e-classes, and it's going to help you as well. Some Facebook ads, a Forex launch where people approached me, they wanted to make $500,000 in 4 weeks. I changed their strategy and made them $1.6 million in 2 weeks. I'll put the copy in there for you as well. Some high converting sales letters. Not every sales that I'm allowed to share, because some clients don't want that, but there's some of the winners in there, and some tear sheets, some offline copy, right? If you really want to sneak under the radar and get people's attention, like you could use copywriting skills offline and really get really good, cool conversions. Cool. What else? You got the Facebook group and the one-on-one strategy call. Some of you have already done that. Some of you haven't, but that's there as well. Okay, now getting back to the content. Just so you know, I talked about the format of this is going to be 40 minutes teaching, 20 minutes Q&A. This one is probably going to go all the way along, because this is a bit of an introduction, if that's so cool. If that's cool, but if we do have time, we will. So let's dive straight in. And I see there's some chats, but I can't see the chats there, so I apologise. If there's something urgent you want to say, unmute yourself and yell out. That'd be cool. Cool. So the curriculum, like I said, I've carefully handpicked the 12 weeks here, and it kind of goes in a different order than most copywriters teach, right? Because most copywriters put on courses so you get really good at copywriting, and that's important. I'm putting on a copywriting course to help you make money from day one, right? It's all I'm just making sure you're going to make money, right? So here's the first one. The first thing I got good at, and for me to go from 16K to 200K in Australia through copywriting, I got very good at conversational copy. So I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes showing you what I do to get very, very good at that, okay? And then I'm going to give you some resources where you can go and learn how to get that, get even better. But most people start a copywriting course with understanding your market and the psychology and all that kind of stuff. That's fantastic, right? But look, I want you to make money from day one. If you apply what I'm going to share with you in this week and apply it into your business, or even if you haven't got a business, you want to approach people and use this, well, you're going to get a response. And when you get a response, you can get money. All right, so that's my logic behind starting with conversational copy. So why is it important? Because most people, your competitors, bore the crap out of people, right? Because they're institutionalized. People feel compelled to use big words, and that's where most people go wrong. Is you can absolutely bore them, right? And most people hate reading, right? And when you look at most people's websites or emails or sales letters or campaigns, generally they're long, they're boring, they're not engaging, and most people hate reading. So most people won't even read the first letter or the first word of because and I'll talk about this a little bit later. But so you want to. The reason why conversational copy is so important is and I'll explain that shortly, is because it gets them to read more, right? And unfortunately, if you keep writing the standard way that everyone else does, or your sales message and your offer is going to fall on deaf ears, right? So you don't want to bore them. You don't want to. Most people hate reading anyway, so don't expect people are going to read your stuff. You have to actually work hard to make people read it, right? And the reason why I put copywriting first is because I just took myself back to the start when I started this, and I started getting people responding to my emails when I learned conversational copy, and they said, "Brett, who's writing your emails?" And I can't. And they said, I'm always too busy, but I can't stop reading them. As soon as I start, I'll read all the way to the end. Right? That's a good thing to get. So I know that even before I understood what I was doing, I just got good at writing in more of a conversational tone, and more people got read, and I got a response, and it can make a big difference. And it's a learned skill, right? It's a learned skill which I'm going to go into, because ultimately, the more they read, the more they buy. Right? The more they read, the more they buy. So that's kind of why this is so important. And now we're going to get into the how. All right. So part one is this. Write as you speak. All right. Now, some of you might have heard this. I'm not going to kind of. I'm treating this as if this is your kind of first exposure to copywriting, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go to the basics, but I'm also going to go as deep as I can to get you really, really good at this. So for some of you, when the way you speak in conversation is very different when you try and write or type something, right? So you want to stop that disconnect, and you want to try and mirror your conversation into your text. When you write an email, a Facebook post, you want to practice doing this, right? Very, very important. But there's one caveat to that, and that is write as your market speaks. So again, if I was, the way I speak is very colloquial and an octa kind of style. So when I'm writing to my market, it resonates with them. But if I had to write for a more corporate, highbrow market, then I would kind of write as they speak. And I'm going to show you how to do that. All right. The other thing I want you to understand, and I'll just pre-warn you, the points I'm going to give you are rapid fire bullet points here, right? You either have to type fast if you're taking notes, or don't type at all. Just absorb it and do bullet points, because I don't want you to miss anything. You can go back over, whatever the case. But the third point is I want you to understand it's your job to dumb it down. Now, the comprehension rate of a Western adult is equivalent to a 12 or 13-year-old, right? So, most of us grew up with textbooks, and I went to my kids' formal, and it was in grade 12, and it was kind of a careers night. And I looked at all the literature, and I just cringed. It was like boring as it was, just like, I couldn't believe it. I was just like cringing all the way through. There was not one bit of personality in there. And it was so hard. I mean, you could read a sentence and you think, what the heck does that mean? I tell you what it meant. I meant the person writing it was trying to impress them. Ego is a crazy thing. People write and use big words and to try and impress, because that's what's been brought up. You've been brought up in school. Lucky for me, I kind of slept all through school. It was a big social event for me. So my first lessons in writing was how to sell through the written word. And I know that dumbing it down is where it's at. I get paid deservedly enormous amounts of money to take somebody's idea and dumb it down into real compatible comprehension for 12 to 13-year-olds, right? So just keep that in mind, dumb it down. And the way to do that is a couple of ways. Is I use my sentences. I try and make short. This is the only caveat to write as you speak, because when we speak, we sometimes speak in big long sentences. But when the written word, we want to avoid people from stumbling, right? Because if they stumble, they'll start skim reading, and you've lost the flow. A good conversational sales letter will just keep people hooked, right? So my sentences, I try and make 7 words long, not including a, I, ins and its, but just something nice and punchy. I don't try and have too many big words in one sentence. Like what I call a big word is something with 3 syllables. I'd very, very rarely try and have 3 or 4 big words in the same sentence, right? I'll try and see try and kind of dumb it down. Which is cool. So also something that I do, and this is important, and just so you understand yourself better, and that is this. Some days, despite you being in the zone for the next, between now and Christmas, and despite you really understanding this craft, you're going to have days when your brain is not going to work, and I need you to understand that that's what's coming, but be okay with it. Some days, as good as I am, and as fast as I can be, sometimes when I try and write, it looks embarrassing. It looks like a kindergarten was putting these headlines together, right? So give yourself permission to suck at writing, all right? Give yourself permission to suck at writing and be okay with it. Now, for me to get my brain into gear and write in a real conversational style, I'll generally read a conversational piece of copy first, and I'll give you a reference to that at the end. Generally, for me personally, I'll read a Gary Halbert letter, which I'm going to give you a link to, because there's hardly anyone I know who writes in a more conversational style. So and here's the thing, you're writing in a conversational style when it feels like you're just sitting at a kitchen table having a chat to someone, right? And it brings it to life, and it brings you there. You feel like you're there, right? So that's what you want to try and simulate. You want to simulate a real life conversation in your words, right? In your emails and things like that. So to get your brain into gear, sometimes you might have to read a good piece of copy, and then your writing will generally be 50 to 100 times better as soon as you start. So that's a bit of a trick that I do to try and get my brain into gear instead of starting from a blank screen and warming up. We don't have time for that, all right? Other thing I do to capture the conversation, the conversational aspect of writing, is I interview clients. So when I take on a copywriting client, I'll give them a questionnaire, and I'll give you guys the questionnaire because it's very worthwhile for you guys to do it. It helps. The business owner will fill it out, and it'll ask them, what's your client's 3 biggest frustrations? What keeps them up at night? Why won't they buy from you? And all that. So the business owner's trying to analyze, okay, here's what I think my client will keep them up at night, and all that kind of stuff. And that's cool, right? And what I do is that I'll put them on a Skype call, and I'll pretty much ask the same questions but in a different way. Or I'll say, right, pretend I don't know anything about your business. Now sell it to me. Don't feel ashamed or hesitate. Just sell it to me. And I'll record the whole thing. I'll get it transcribed, and then I'll get the whole transcription back, and I'll take out all the ums and the ahs, right? But I'll leave the other things which we call connectors, which I'll talk about. And then I'll put that in the right structure, add some filler, and we'll talk about structure another time. And then that becomes, a lot of the times, if they're good communicators, 70% of the sales letter, you can get them to speak out, right? Well, the first time I did this I said I did this guy, he just sold me on it, and if I wanted him to go deep, I'd ask him questions, got it all transcribed, put it into a sales letter, sent it back to him, and he goes, wow, Brett, you're a legend, right? And he was right? But it was very easy for me because I was able to understand that I just had to capture his voice, right? And understand I had to shuffle it around to put it in the right sales psychology. So if you can't interview people, look at videos, go to YouTube, look at people in your market who I had to write a letter for people who are going from South Africa to Perth. So I had to understand the pain points in South Africa. So I started watching people describing life in South Africa. And I just picked up that rhythm, the conversational tones, and you'll be amazed at what you do. Here's the thing: when a client of mine filled out a comprehensive questionnaire, right, and then I got them on a Skype call and asked them the same questions, their answers were so different. Like the way they explain things, they use little people naturally use analogies and little runaway conversational anecdotes, and you want to capture those, right? And the more you do this, the more you'll really tune into this, and you'll be slightly entertained when you hear people talk about things. Before today, you probably would have just been in conversation and missed it. But you say, isn't that funny the way they explain that? I'll give you an example. You see someone who tries to be clever with copy, and they talk about like something to do with increasing your vitality, or have an abundance of vitality. Like, who's seen copy like that? I mean, who wakes up in the morning and goes, "Oh, I really wish I had an abundance of vitality"? Like, are you serious? That's what you've got to stop. You've got to, if you look at people read that and go, and there's no emotional attachment, right? There's no spike of emotion. There's no relatability. What do people say? They wake up and they go, "Oh man, I feel like I've been hit by a truck, or I've been run over by a car, or I feel wrecked, like exhausted." They use real life language. So you got to tune into that real life language when you're writing, when you're speaking to your database, right? And you pick up on that. And I'm going to show you what I've done, some amazing resources I've put together for you, right? The other thing is, if there's no videos, go to forums and look at how people are describing their problems, right? The more like, here's the thing: if you can describe somebody's problem better than they can, they will automatically think you have the solution, right? So my job is not to write clever copy. My job and your job is to stir up people's deepest, darkest problems and emotional, the emotional things that kind of consume them, bring them up to the forefront of their mind, and then offer your product as a relief. That's your job, right? And that's how important it is to understand your market. And we're going to talk a lot about that in one of the upcoming webinars. Again, stand out. I talked about that. The connectors, which I'm going to give you some examples of. If you did capture yourself selling and catch out an audio and get it transcribed, you take out all the ums and ahs, but you keep the connectors. The connectors are what keep people reading. Things like, oh, by the way, let me explain. I'll come back to that later. Oh, you'll love this. And those kind of things that you hear in normal conversation, right? You hear it every single day. You've got to inject that into your copy, and guess what? People will it'll be entertaining. It'll stand out. It'll be easier to read, and it'll be such a refreshing change to all the boring crap that they're seeing. They're going to read more. You're going to build more trust. You're going to build believability, and you're going to make more sales. So the more they read, the more they buy. So I've got some really good resources for connectors. Cool. So far, so good. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. Awesome. I saw 2 thumbs. That's cool. The next part 2, is brevity. Brevity is key, right? And if you look up the word brevity in the dictionary, it's using exact and concise language to make your point, something like that, right? So that's the challenge you're going to have. And here's the other thing. When I work with new copywriters, I was guilty of this as well. Don't worry. Generally, if you look at a sales letter and a long sales letter, it's common knowledge for us, as A-grade copywriters. We can take the first third and just delete it and say this is where the letter starts, because a lot of people like clearing their throat, right? Just be mindful. Don't write to entertain yourself. Okay, I'm going to repeat it. Don't write to entertain yourself. All right. You got to be mindful of the writer's ego. And I was guilty of this, and sometimes I still love dabble into that and be real proud of that. And it's okay. It's okay. Just be mindful of it, right? Because ultimately, You don't have the luxury of time. Your readers, like, they don't wake up and say, oh, wow, I wonder what I could read today. No. They've got your audience, the people are going to buy from you. They wake up with, subconsciously or consciously, with a deep, dark, burning desire they want to have, or in more cases than not, a problem they want solved, right? That's consuming them. Your job is to enter the conversation they're having in their mind, right? If you can enter into this conversation that they're having in their mind, and they can see it articulated exactly like they're thinking, guess what? You're going to get their attention. You're going to get their interest, and they're going to read more, right? Because they're going to think, wow, they're speaking to me. That's the key. It's not about putting clever words together, right? It's about understanding that psychological connection and putting that conversational basic language that they got rattling through their mind. Most people don't have the big words rattling through their mind like abundance of vitality. They just want to wake up with energy, and just more basic language, if that makes sense. So be mindful of clearing your throat with entertaining yourself and things like that. You're in conversational copy, which we'll go into deeper. Your objective is to overcome objections, right? Because even though you might have caught their attention and captured their interest, right, you also most people will come to your site or read your letter or email with a level of skepticism, because the internet's the most distrusted media on the planet, right? So you've got to understand that you have to overcome their objections first, because one objection missed is a sale missed. If you're taking notes, that's a write-it-downer. One objection missed is a sale missed, right? So you've got to make sure you overcome the objections and make it believable. The other one is you've got to hit the hot buttons too, right? Overcoming the objections is one thing, but you don't want to miss an opportunity to get them excited about something and bring up the emotion, right? The other thing I want to talk to you about very quickly, and I'm not worried about time today. So if we go over, we go over, right? Because this is kind of the intro. But you might a lot of people ask me, Brett, what works better now, right? Short copy or long copy, right? Short copy or long copy. If anyone asks you that, right? Number one, it's a stupid question, right? But understand this. In most cases than not, long copy will work, but there's always exceptions. There are always exceptions. Just simply by the way marketing and our communications have changed, where we're forced to send short text messages, Twitter, limited Twitter characters, and Facebook ads. And everything's trying to be condensed. So I understand the importance of keeping it short and punchy, and that's never changed. You always want to. The importance is this: to have hit the highest amount of emotion in the shortest amount of words. Right, the highest amount of emotion you want to try and hit in the shortest amount of words. Sometimes I will add words to inject emotion. All right. So here's why, in a lot of cases, long copy will work more, because if you keep it too short, then you're giving them time to think. You don't want your clients to think. Why? Because as a default, most people will talk themselves out of stuff. You want to fill that void. Think of it as a mind control. In a way, it is mind control. You want to consume their thinking all the way through, right? You want to stop them. If you create a void, guess what? They're going to fill it full of crap. And that crap they're going to talk themselves out of buying from you, because there's 1,001 reasons in their mind why they shouldn't buy from you, right? So you want to keep them reading in a conversational manner, entertain them in a conversational manner, to fill that void, to stop them from thinking, and slowly guide them through to the sale, right? So that's generally why long copy will work more, because if you pull them up short, and you haven't overcome all their objections or hit the hot buttons, guess what? They'll fill it with their own stuff, and it'll generally talk themselves out of it. There are always exceptions. Everything I say, there's always exceptions. Some people are so motivated, they're so looking for something, they'll jump in. But that's just keep in mind that's not the majority of the market, right? That's meant to say part 3. I apologise about that. I'm going to change it now, because part 3, there we go. Part 3 is drenched with emotion, right? So I kind of hinted to it before, but your job is to stir up people's emotions, and you might think, oh, but I hear this song. I'm in an accountant, or I'm in this industry where there's not much emotion. That's BS, right? Absolutely. There's not one industry I know that there's not some level of emotion. Even our mate Brian, who sells, the vapor, right? The emotions are number one to like give up smoking, so you really play on that. But there's also an emotion of something to be proud of, a design that they can be proud of. Everything's emotional, guys. Everything, right? I'm going to dive deeper and do a webinar on emotion, but and you'll get good at it. You will get good at it. But that is your job. My job is I'm an emotional direct response copywriter, right? I'm not a copywriter. I'm an emotional direct response copywriter. So my job is to find the emotions, stir them up, and then get a response. Okay. Something you got to be mindful too. Again, I didn't learn this till years later, believe it or not. But sorry, that's hilarious. I wrote passive, not active. Sorry, that's actually active, not passive. Don't apologise about that. Right, in an active way, not passive. I'll give you a quick example. So let me go over here. I'll give you a link to this, guys. But active sentences. An example here. Harry ate 6 shrimp at dinner, and the passive way is at dinner 6 shrimp were eaten by Harry. So you want to bring people into it actively, and because that's just a bit of a mechanism and a technique that you're bringing them into your world, and they're likely going to they visualize. We all visualize. So when you write, and I'm going to flush this out more, over the weeks. But you want to put pictures in people's minds. So Harry ate 6 shrimp at dinner. Like you can picture that, but at dinner 6 shrimp were eaten by Harry. It doesn't put as a clear picture in there. So writing active, not passive, is something that you can practice, and there's plenty of examples here. I ran the obstacle course in record time. The obstacle course was run by me in record time. Very, very simple, but it can make a difference with readability. All right. Back to here. Bring them into a conversation. Now, this is a good mechanism when you're writing conversational copy, and I'm going to give you an example of it. But a lot of the times, some of my the highest response emails is when I'll bring people into a conversation, like have inverted commas, and they'll follow the dialogue. So when you bring people into a conversation, and I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example now. I just want to make sure I back up everything. Okay, cool. So here's an email I wrote, which is called "One Quick Phone Call and This Happens." Right? Sitting on the porch with my 20-year-old boy, Riley. So instantly I put them into a scene, right? Enjoying the effortless conversation and the silence. We both gaze actually it hasn't been edited, but that's okay. Zen monks at the mirror-like reflection of our waterfront canal. I saw him shuffle on his seat as he pulls out his phone from his right pocket. So these are all pictures. I'm bringing people into the story. It's right. It's active, right? And here's where it goes. Hello, in inverted commas. Hi, Janet. It's Riley here. How are you? Good, thanks, Riley. I knew that should have inverted commas. But anyway, so you're bringing people into a conversation. When you do this, people want to see how it ends, right? And again, you're in the job of getting people to read. The more they read, the more they buy. So this is a very good mechanism which you'll see me do in a lot of my emails, and I'll always get a lot of response, right? Because here's the thing: you don't have to try too hard when you do this, because you can actually inject emotion. You can. It's very easy to humanize your writing. You can kind of persuade people without trying. It's a very stealth way of persuasion. Okay, so that's something I learned very quick. And how did I learn it? Not through a copywriting book. I read it when I started reading novels. And see, here's the thing. Everything I read, I look through two lenses. One as the consumer, and the other one as the copywriter. So even, Gary Halbert, John Carlton, they're some of the greatest names in history of copywriting. After a while, after years, like decades of learning copywriting, they stop learning. And how do they keep sharp? They read like particular novels that are by world famous novelists who just keep people reading all the way through. And these are some of the mechanisms I'm kind of shortcutting and showing you right now. Okay, a good dialogue will get people to read more, and you can persuade more, and people will love it. It's entertaining, and because hardly anyone else is doing it. All right. Also, I want to talk. I'll leave this up here for now. Readability. Readability is key. You've heard me talk about that. To get people to read more on my emails. If you haven't already noticed, number one, it's not a 12 font. It's a 16 font. It's my paragraphs are one sentence. They're not like 8 deep paragraphs. They're one sentence, and then I have double space, and then another sentence, double space, another sentence. Even in my sales that I want to make sure it's spaced out. Why? Because 70% of your audience are going to be reading on their mobile phone. You don't want them to squint and anything that looks crammed and bunched up, guess what? It looks like hard work. People don't want to read, and they don't want anything that's going to look hard. You want to make it easy. If you look at all my emails, it's like a short sentence, another one. Sometimes I might have longer ones, but generally straight after I'll have a short one. So here's a three-liner, and I'll just try and make it a short one, and so on and so forth, right? Just try and break it up. You don't want to have like 6 chunky paragraphs. They go, too much work, and that's it. You just got to make it easy for them to read. All right, and you guys are going to get all the swipe files and as well. Sales psychology. Sales psychology is something we're going to go deeper on as we kind of roll this out. But all I'll say is, prior to me learning copywriting, I was in a network marketing company for 8 years, Amway, right? I was in this bubble thinking that was the best opportunity on the planet. Anyone who couldn't see what I was seeing must be an idiot, right? Anyway, so I made a little bit of money. I was a platinum, got to go to Hawaii, but it was a struggle. Like, it was hard, the school of hard knocks. But one thing I did learn was sales psychology. I could have a conversation with someone, and I could show them my business, and just one small little inflection of their face, I knew exactly what they were thinking, right? And straight away, I would offset it, make them believable, and say, listen, if this sounds a bit over the top, hey, I totally get it, right? So what I was doing, I was preempting what they were thinking, and you've got to get good at this in your copywriting, right? So the thing that I see people go wrong, and I'm going to talk about this next week, is that people try and sell too fast. You've got to make them want it first. But every time you try and sell to people, there's going to be some times, unless you're an absolute pro, where there's going to be inhibitions, or there's going to be some doubt, or not believable, or some friction, right? So when I write emails, if I predict that they might be doubting something I say, I'll instantly back it up with a statement. So here's another point. If you're making a statement, understand this: statements can be challenged, but stories are believed. Right? Another writer-downer. Statements can be challenged, but stories are believed. So if you make a statement, and then they might be doubting it, don't keep on going. You have to give proof straight away, and we'll be flushing this out as we go. But the sales psychology is really important. We're going to talk about that in future things, webinars as well. Okay, so I'm going to do some demonstration now. So I've put together some things for you, some punch words, which is going to help you write conversationally. I'm going to give you a reference to the Gary Halbert newsletter. Again, there might be, actually, I will show you one thing. This is when it comes to readability. I'll show you one thing, all right? like I said, I earned a lot of money when I first started. Within 7 years, I generated over $220 million of new sales that weren't there before because of my copywriting. And after that, I started seeing all these copywriters saying, "Oh, how's your French Kincaid score, or what's your all these things?" And I tell you this because there's these readability tools, and I had a look at them. I thought, "Oh wow, that's cool." This is after I'd already become successful. But other copywriters, they beat their chests and go, "Oh yes, I have this score and all that." So I feel like compelled I should show it to you, but it didn't actually make a scrap of difference for my style, because I got to learn conversational copy very fast and very good, right? Just through by looking at other people's stuff and things like that. So it's called where is it? The Flesh Kincaid Reading Ease. So you can actually dump a bit of text in here, and I should do this now. Even though it hasn't been. No, I don't even know if this is a good idea dumping it in here, but so you can dump a bit of text in here, and you can say what your score is. Okay, 89.7. That's out of 100. That's pretty high, and anyway, you can have a bit of a play with that, and it can show you. It highlights the areas which you might need to rework and things like that. So if you're not naturally sentences 20 syllables, okay, cool. So I like that. There's actually 20 syllables in there, so you want to try and dumb that down, right? Another one, which is a cool tool, it's called the Hemingway app, right? And I encourage you to check this out. I'll put the links in the Facebook group, but you can dump some text in here. If I can see how to do it right. Okay, so it's a grade 4. So people in grade 4 can read it. That's awesome, right? 10 sentences are hard to read. One sentence out of 10 is hard to read. 0 sentences are very hard to read. 0 phrases have similar alternatives. So I don't use this. That's a pretty top level already, and I'm not surprised, right? But if you're not naturally good at it, like I got very good very fast because I didn't have to unlearn stuff. A lot of you guys might have to unlearn a lot of stuff, and to help you with that transition, you can go to the Hemingway app and just use that as well. Is that cool? So that's something that I've never had to use, but I know not everyone is going to have the rapid success I did, but the Hemingway app is a really cool thing to kind of tune into that. Someone just sent a chat. Well, what I'll do is I'll put this. There's a link there. I'll put this in the Facebook group as well. Cool. Other thing I want to show you is punch words, right? Punch words. This is a bit of a shortcut cheat sheet that I put together for the 7-hour sales machine guys. I wanted them to get very good, very fast at writing conversational copy. And I also put a lot of stuff in here about headlines and bullet points. And I'll give you this. I'll put this in the Facebook group. So that, I mean, you don't have to go. I'm going to be covering all this in a future webinar, so you don't have to go over the headline area and the bullet point area, but it's all there. So there's all different ways of writing bullet points that we're going to cover, which is cool. But eventually we're going to, as you scroll down, we're going to get to the conversational connectors, right? So I'll talk a little bit about that. And here's a good resource, right? I've just dumped a bunch of stuff in here, okay? So if you want to inject a little bit of life into your copy, here's one way to turn a boring sentence into a more conversational one. Number one, if you've got a boring sentence that has no life, you can actually try and try and dumb it down straight away and add a bit of conversational tone to it. But the other way of doing it is you put a conversational connector at the start and at the end, right? So that frames it with a little bit of life. So for instance, if you say you'll find this course very beneficial. I'd say I'd start off on saying, here's something you'd like, or you'd love to know this, ... You'll find this course is going to make you more, is going to make you a lot of money, right? Because beneficial is like, you're asking them to think, right? You don't want people to think. You got to put it in there. You fill the void, right? And then after that, I'd say, does that sound okay with you? ? So just by asking, you'll love to hear this, is that okay with you? All of a sudden, that turns that boring sentence into a conversational kind of engaging thing. So sometimes when I critique stuff, I'll just put a little bit of conversational connectors at the start and at the end, and just to add some life. Cool? So here's the thing. You can go through there and have a look, but I want to show you something else that's really cool. Gary Halbert letter. The Gary Halbert letter, which I'll drop some links in here. Where is Halbert? He's still by far someone I resonate with more than anyone. He's since passed. He passed about 3 months before I first learned copywriting. So before I even knew what copywriter, in the same year he passed, and that's when I started learning. So I never got to meet him. But the Gary Halbert newsletter, this was a paid subscription, and now it's up online for free. You can just scroll down here and read any of his newsletters. I get in the habit of I've actually got all of them printed off in 3 big folders, and if I need a little bit of if I need to kind of get into the mode, sorry guys, I'll read one of these letters. So now here's what I did over probably the first 3 years of copywriting. I went through it, any kind of conversational piece that I thought I liked, I copied and pasted and put it into a Word doc called Halbert Connectors, right? Now, what I've done, I've given you all these. This took literally 3 years to put together. Any time that Gary put a cool conversational tone into his, I'd copy it and paste it and just started my own Gary Halbert copywriting file. So I encourage you to do that as well, right? Because the simple fact of looking out for it and creating your own swipe file, it'll actually cement it. Instead of looking at mine and saying, oh, Brett's already done it, you'll probably never go and look at it, I'm guessing. So, but you'll say, in truth, only a mere 3%. Think about what this means. Believe it or not, at least, and last but not least, the bottom line, and so on and so forth. You can read through there, and that'll help you get good at it. I did this every single day when I first started copywriting. I just got very good. Another one is John Carlton. Now, John Carlton, he's like probably one of the best writers I know. But he's what can I'll say about John? To try and write like John, it's a hard thing. He's a pro writer. When you read John Carlton stuff, it's so good, and it might actually demotivate you. You think I could never get that good, right? But Gary Halbert is just a real copywriter, which will help. Okay, so I encourage you to do that. Other one, sorry guys, there's a lot of cool stuff there. Is punch words, right? Sometimes when I write an email, just for entertainment, I'll say, right, I'm going to find 3 punch words and I'm going to put them in today's email. So I'll say gutsy, staggering, and make my blood boil. And my job is just to put those 3 punch words into my email. And if you just do that, have a bit of fun when you write an emails or whatever the case, straight away that instantly adds some life into your copy, right? So that's punch words like grueling, sideswipe, vulgar, steamrolled, blaze, collapse, draining. There's also punch phrases, fighting tooth and nail, crank it up a notch, right off the bat, teetering on the brink of disaster, rare as hen's teeth. Use some of these guys. Like literally, these are yours to take. inject them into your copy, into your Facebook posts, whatever. But you want to get good at these are stuff that people actually say, but you don't see them in textbooks, right? Because you want to avoid the textbook writing. You want to actually use real conversation, like bite the bullet, let's juice things up, let's boogie, go a few rounds. People say this, and you just keep an ear open for them. And Lanika and I put a lot of time into this, and I've got them for you as well. Also, there's different ways of saying scarcity and urgency. Instead of saying act now, you can say limited spots, closing soon, don't sit on the fence, first in, best dressed. There's other words for saying big and many. Monstrous, gigantic, abundance, truckloads, mind-boggling, eye-popping, jaw-dropping, fast. In other words, for saying fast, lightning, bullet from a gun, jet-powered, hurdle, breakneck speed. You know what I mean? So use this, guys. Get good at it, and you'll with repetition you'll get better. New and improved, different words for love and money and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool resource, guys, especially if you want to come up with headlines and bullet points as well. It's all there for you, which is cool. It's a lot of the stuff is in my book, Client Rush, but this is more of an extended version. Okay. Go back here. Cool. Other one is my emails. You'll see examples of my emails every day. So if you've been collecting my emails, you'll see examples of how I write conversational. I demonstrate it every single day. Another email which you would have seen is we're going to need a bigger boat. It's just find more engaging ways to say things. Like if you want to learn this insanely lucrative skill to rapidly grow your business, look, we've got big fish plays beating down our door looking for Thompson-style copywriters. I could have said here, we've got a lot of people looking for, wanting to use our copywriters, right? But big fish plays beating down our door. Just get good at and practice, right? Here's another one. This kind of hovers about entertaining myself a little bit, but instead of saying there's a lot of people who want to learn copywriting from me, I said there's a horde of savvy business owners wanting to jump on the copywriting dance floor to learn my persuasive moves and boogie their way to high conversions. Now, that's an entertaining way. Some people respond to that and highlight it and said classic, But that does borderline a bit of clearing your throat. But there's just find engaging ways to describe things with those punch words and punch phrases. Okay, and you'll see examples of it all the time. But don't try and do it too hard to entertain yourself. Some of my emails, it's all about brevity, straight to the point. All right. Straight to the point, and don't get trapped to try and entertain yourself. Just look for opportunities to add some punch to it. Okay. Cool. And I'm respectful of your times. I apologise for going over. So here's some homework. You don't have to do it, right? I'm not going to keep you accountable for it. But if you really want to speed track it, then here's what I'd do. Okay. I'd read one Gary Halbert newsletter each day before writing. Okay, that's what I'd do. Why? Because that's what I've done. I'm trying to simulate what I went through and was able to make a lot of money so fast. This is what I did. Right? I read a Gary Halbert newsletter each day. Now, Gary Halbert's newsletter, some of them are outdated. Like you might talk about sending a fax. Don't worry about that, because there is still almost no one on the planet that I know who could write as well as this guy. And he talks, and it's quite amazing. It's quite amazing how raw and real he is, and it'll help you instantly write better. Right. Other thing is to handwrite your next email. Right. So I want to help you monetize this. So if you've got a business where you can write an email, I want you to write a conversational style email, make an offer, try and sell something, and send it out to your list before we get back next Thursday together. Okay, you don't have to do it, but the lady that did this for me, that did this, she made $16,000 that week, right? $16,000, guys, because she took out. Not everyone in the group took action. They just kept on turning up. Some people didn't turn up. Whatever. I've got no control of that. But if you want to monetize this, write a conversational email. right? And send it, and you can drop it in the Facebook group, and we can have a look at it. Again, I'm here. I'm in your corner to try and help you make money. If you're hardcore and you want to do something a bit more, hand write a sales letter, right? Hand write a sales letter out. I know, Mackenzie, you've done this a bunch of times. I didn't do it. I did it for a short period of time, and that was it. A lot of people do it ongoing. I'm thinking I'm too busy making money, right? But I did do it because you can really pick up the tempo. And there's a psychological link with your brain, and when you handwrite things, it penetrates deeper. So you can either handwrite a Gary Halbert newsletter if you want. Now some of them are long, but if you handwrite it out in an exercise book, you'll appreciate what you'll start thinking like he's thinking. You think, why does he write? What's going on in his mind while he's writing this? It's quite a fascinating experience. This is for the hardcore people. If you want to write a sales letter that's converted hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, then I've got a sales letter which has brought in so much money into my life. It's crazy. One that I wrote. It's brettthompson.com/project success. It's a good example of conversational copy. This has been up for so many years. It's not the most best looking sales page, but I haven't changed it because I don't need to. But you can handwrite that if you want. And here's the thing: brainwashed with this insatiable obsession to make it rain money on your business. It's like trying to stop Niagara Fall with a paper cup. Why? To help you make money, and so just handwrite this stuff. There's really good conversational copy, and especially if you're a copywriter, you'll understand the psychology in there. There's snippets of dialogue, and lots of cool stuff. Okay, so that's kind of that's for the hardcore people. If you really want to get good at this and monetize it fast, but guys, that brings us to an end for the conversational copy. What I'm going to do now, if you're open, I can stay on for 5 minutes. What I'd love to do is, if you're open to it, just tell us what your biggest takeaway is. So you can just tell us in 30 seconds or a minute. That'd be cool. And then I'll get busy and upload all the references into the Facebook group. Okay. So does anyone want to break the ice and mute themselves first? I know Mackenzie's. I'll pick you, mate, since you're the reason that this has all happened. So do you want to unmute yourself, my friend, and say good day and tell us what your biggest takeaway was from the last hour?
All right. Can you hear me?
Okay, my man. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for speaking nonstop for the last hour plus without even taking a break for a sip of water or anything. That's really fantastic.
No worries, mate.
My name is Mackenzie. I live in Japan, and I met Brett at the recent Netpreneur Summit, Netpreneur Marketing Conference in Japan in September. So he's basically the reason why I went, because I wanted to connect with somebody who's a copywriter who had success and plug into his brain. And basically, it was like he said, I kind of hounded him until I got him sitting in a chair one-on-one and got him to open up this course. So I'm really happy to be here, joined by other people who want to learn and improve their copywriting skills. So it's a pleasure to be with you for the next 3 months.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I've been studying copywriting on and off for the last couple of years, and a lot of the things what you said, Brett, in the last hour were a lot of the fundamental things that I've gathered over the last 2 years from a lot of the great marketers. So all those points are really valuable, and it's awesome the way you're able to compress them into a single hour for everybody here. And the biggest thing that I took away from today is to take action immediately after this conference, to get started on writing or reading, or just to implement any one of those things that you covered.
Cool, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. Now, I want to let everyone know I'm respectful of your time. If you have to go, that's okay, right? You don't have to stick on here, but I'm going to stick on it, and I'd love to get everyone to quickly introduce themselves. If we can just try and keep the intros to like Mackenzie did, short, sharp, and punchy. That's perfect. And I did this at a seminar a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't say I said keep it short, sharp, and punchy, but I mustn't have really reiterated it. And some of them went into like 20-minute stories, and it was like very very awkward for me to kind of pull someone up in the middle of their personal story. So yeah, what I'm going to do is instead of waiting for people to unmute themselves, say good day, and introduce themselves, I'm just going to drop your head. I'm just going to go just pick someone to unmute themselves and say good day. So I can see that Big Bad Brian has just joined us. Thank you, man. I know I was unable to join at the start, mate. So I'm going to unmute yourself. Do you want to quickly, for 30 seconds or a minute, say good day, what you're all about, and what you got most out of it so far?
Oh, okay. I got the headphones in, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me or not.
Yeah, loud and clear, man.
Okay, so my name is Brian Wilson. I met Brett just like Mackenzie did. I met Mackenzie and then Ian, who's also on this call at the Netpreneur Summit. I met Ian last year at the first one that I went to, and then these guys at this one this year, just last month. And I was probably one of the biggest takeaways for me from that summit was the ability to copyright. I own a business here in Japan. I sell vaporizers and vaping supplies, helping people quit smoking. And, I have a good following and a good customer base, but it seems hard to kind of grow it in the right way with the right type of message to put out for people to really kind of push that buy button, and get into the idea that smoking is bad and that vaping is better. So I just really wanted to learn skills from Brett. And, I really feel that, especially being to the summit, you end up learning a lot from all of the attendees just as much as you do from the speakers. So I look forward to learning from all of you guys as well as we go along with this. Thanks for listening to me.
Yeah, awesome, Brian. Appreciate that, mate. And just so you know, Brian, you might have missed the start, but some of the membership areas cleaned up, and we've added all the swipe files as well. Gary, how about you have to go, mate? Do you want to quickly say good day, or you've literally got a race? You there, Gary? No, he had to race. He's gone. So Gary, you'll meet him next week. We'll quickly say good day to Steve from NZ, our New Zealand representative. How are you, Steve?
Yeah, good. And you?
Awesome, my man.
Cool. Hello to everyone. I came through from, I think it was the Entourage, which is the Australian Entrepreneurs Group, which Brett did a little copywriting session on, and I thought, wow, this looks pretty cool. So from that, I went through to the Ask Method, Ryan Levesque, and now I'm moving on to, obviously, the copywriting one. I'm basically a maths tutor, and I'm looking to extend my online tutoring business. And I'm not doing some things right because I'm not getting all the clients that I want through the stuff that I send out. I've had people sign up for free assessments and then they don't even do the assessment. So something's not working there, and I need to tease that out and do something better. So yeah, I've got to move that out of some comfort zones, I think, make some changes, and that's why I'm here. So looking forward to it. Cheers.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it, man. I love helping a maths tutor. That excites me because I'm guessing most people in your industry would not have motive, conversational, kind of engaging copy. So you're gonna be a big standout, man. I look forward to helping you. Now we've got Crit, but Crit, you're on an iPad. I don't know if you can unmute yourself, mate. Do you want to quickly say good day? Hey,
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yep. Yeah, my name's Crit. I'm from Sydney, and I saw Brett at the Entourage. That's how I found out about him. I work in B Business. It's a management consulting and corporate advisory firm. So, yeah, I'm just trying to find clients for that.
Yeah, cool, man. And I've already got a lead for you. I'm not sure if I told you.
Yeah,
but,
you did. Yeah.
But yeah, no, Crit's a real go-getter. The conversation I had with you was pretty impressive, man. Just you've got a really good element of good old-fashioned hustle, and that's something that's hard to teach. So when you put copywriting skills behind it, mate, just expect big things to happen fast.
Cool. Thanks.
No worries, mate. Thanks for jumping on. Now we're going to quickly say good day to to Beck. Is Beck there? No, Beck's not there. We'll go to Ian. Hey, Ian, how are you, mate?
Good. Good morning, or it is good morning from Japan, everyone.
Yeah.
I met Brett at the Netpreneurs Summit a few weeks ago in Japan, in Tokyo. I've been studying copywriting on and off for a long time. Since 97 or so, I've been a freelance web developer. So I've done a lot of websites and writing copy and whatnot. As of late, I started doing some automated, with a email automation sequence, and I'm noticing people not responding to my emails. So I'm obviously doing something not right. So I thought that I would explore what it is that I'm doing incorrectly and why my copy is not effective. I've realized that I've really enjoyed copywriting and writing, and the big takeaway from this hour, Brett, thank you so much, by the way, was the distinction you made between not necessarily being clever about your words, but connecting to the people, the prospects, on a psychological level of the conversation that they're having in their mind.
Yeah.
That's something I really wasn't really thinking about so much. I was thinking, I'm just going to be creative and imaginative, and that's great and all. But if I'm not connecting with them where they are, then who cares? You know what I mean?
That's cool, man. I'm really glad you brought that up. And we can fall in the trap to try and entertain ourselves.
Yeah, and I was entertaining myself. I was writing for myself, I think.
Yeah. So I'm glad you took that one, mate. And I really appreciate it. So thanks for jumping on. Now we're going to say good day to Jared. Now, Jared works with the guy I've got an enormous amount of respect for, Kim Barrett. Some of you guys might have seen him from the last Netpreneur, but he's a Facebook advertising demon. Awesome bloke as well. And Jared, you're in the hub, mate. You're one of the key dudes, yeah?
Yeah. Based in Perth. Sorry, I was a bit late this morning. I was actually locked out of the office. I'm not normally here at 6 a.m.
Classic.
So I actually came in a bit late, but it looks good, man. I'm definitely going to have a watch over this morning's session later today and get the most out of it. But
Sweet.
Luckily enough for me, Kim, as you said, is putting me through this course, so I'm pretty stoked at that. Going to build my skills, and obviously I work at an agency, so I get to deal with a wide range of clients. So having that ability to improve my copy across a whole range is super important, I think. So, and that main takeaway of being able to have that conversation in the copy, I think is super important.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So do you write more than just Facebook ads? Do you do emails as well, like or landing page copy?
Landing page copy and emails as well.
Oh, sweet, mate. This is gonna be a good ride for you, buddy.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
so make sure you loop back around and listen to it from the start. And the good thing is with the recording, you can listen on double speed if you can handle listening to me on double speed. Thanks for tuning in, man, and thanks for making an effort to get up at 6 a.m.
No worries. Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
And we'll say good day to the awesome Janice White. How are you, Janice?
I'm good, thanks, Brett.
Excellent.
I figured out that I haven't had the video on all this time.
All right. That's cool. I mean, you don't have to put a video on. I just quite like to get to know you guys. It just adds a bit of human element to it. So tell us all about yourself and what you took away, what your best takeaway was so far.
Oh, look, I just want to thank you for this course. Amazing.
Thank you.
I didn't realise that I loved copywriting so much until I read your book, and it's really helped me in my business so far. And I've just taken to it like a duck to water. I love it. And I'm so looking forward to the rest of this course. So that's it.
Fantastic. No, and you're and you guys will see Janice is an amazing action taker. She read my book, and a little while later there was a letter in the mail. I thought, oh, she was cool. This one. There was a letter saying, here's my ad beforehand, and here's my ad since reading the book. I'm like, whoa, that's awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Thanks for that, Janice. So I know there's a lot of guys going to be catching the replay for this, which is great. And we're going to post this, and the recordings are going to be in the membership area. We're also going to post a replay in the Facebook group, so it's just easy access for you all. But I really appreciate your time, guys. Actually, Beck, is Beck back yet? Let me see if Beck's back. No, Beck's not back. Okay, so we'll wrap it up there, guys. We'll catch you next Thursday, same time, same place. And in between then, we'll engage in the Facebook group, and we'll get to know each other really well and get some big wins. I really encourage you to take action and do your homework. If you want to write an email, try and sell something using a conversational tone. Let us know how that goes. If you want a bit of inspiration about emails, look at my emails in the swipe files. Look at the subject lines. And get inspired by them. All right, that's it, guys. Appreciate your time, and we'll. Ian said, okay, Ian, I'll check that out. That 7-hour sales letter isn't working. No worries, mate. Anthony should be working now, so we'll get that fixed. It was working on my end because I checked it this morning, but we'll go and get that sorted. All right, appreciate it, guys. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye.